What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Kusama Parachain auctions and further explain it. Let's get into it. But before I jump into the content, I just completely revamped my website, bitcoinlockup.com. As you can see here on your screen, there is some very exciting stuff coming, and you can always preview my newest videos there before they hit YouTube or any other platform. There's also going to be some bonus exclusive giveaways and content coming that is only going to be available on my website. Welcome back. So in one of my last videos, we explained how the Polkadot Parachain auctions work in depth. But although Kusama's process is very similar, there are some differences, so I wanted to cover them now. Today, I want to cover the Kusama Parachain auctions explained, how they work, how you can get involved, and why there is a lot of press and attention on this right now.
And here we go.
So just to recap some basics. In order to understand what parachain slot auctions are, we first need to understand what parachains are, what relays chains are, and the basics of how this all works. For a little background, Polkadot, or DOT, and Kusama, KSM, are designed around two different types of blockchains. First is the relay chain. This is the main network where all transactions are finalized. Two are parachains. These are custom blockchains anchored to that relay chain and uses its computing resources to confirm transactions that they're accurate. Now, to fairly determine which blockchains get to leverage the Kusama or even Polkadot relay chains and their distributed computing power, the networks use a parachain slot auction, also known as parachain auctions for short. In its current state, both the Polkadot and Kusama relay chains can support up to 100 parachains each, a number that is flexible and is subject to change based on governance votes at the time. Parachain slot auctions are used as a means to decide which parachain will be connected to the relay chain. This is done by what's known as a candle auction. Let me explain what this is right now. These are the mechanics of a candle auction. Candle auctions are a variant of open auctions where bidders submit bids that are increasingly higher, and the highest bidder at the conclusion of the auction is considered the winner. Candle auctions were originally employed in the 16th century for the sale of ships and get their name from the inch of a candle that determined the open period of the auction. When the flame extinguished and the candle went out, the auction would suddenly terminate and the standing bid at that point would win. Now, when candle auctions are used online, they require a random number to decide that moment of termination. Parachain slot auctions differ slightly from a normal candle auction in that it does not use the random number to decide the duration of its opening phase. Instead, it has a known open phase and will be retroactively determined at the normal close to have ended at some point during the ending phase. So during the open phase, bids will continue to be accepted, but later bids have a higher probability of losing since the retroactively determined close moment may be found to have preceded by the time that the bid was submitted. Sounds a little complex. So something about this sounds like it's missing, right? Well, a parachain auction offers an opportunity for substrate-based framework, which is again a framework for building blockchains on Polkadot and Kusama, blockchains to connect to the Polkadot or Kusama relay chains. This is achieved via an open and permissionless auction while benefiting from the security of the relay chain of Kusama. However, parachain slots are scarce by design in order to encourage competition and to optimize the relay chain's resources. On Kusama, the parachain leasing period max is 48 weeks. Now, maybe you've heard of parathreads, also similar to parachains. Some parachain slots will be set aside to run parathreads, which are essentially chains that bid on a per block basis to be included in the relay chain. But most parachain slots are acquirable through auction. Back in June, the first Kusama parachain was auctioned off. The auctions take place over a period of 7 days and they are run as candle auctions. This is again an old auction format from way back in the 16th century that allowed bidding on an actual wax candle whenever it went out. This again means that the actual exact end day and time of the auction is unknown, which is specifically by design in order to stop participants sniping the auction at the last minute. The highest bidder of the first auction was Karura, which is the DeFi hub of Kusama. Solidity smart contract project Moonriver took the second slot. Multi-chain DApp hub Shiden took the third slot. The fourth slot went to the trustless, privacy-preserving cloud computing platform Kala Network, and liquidity staking platform Bifrost Finance snapped up the fifth slot. Now, for a parachain to be added to Polkadot, it must inhabit one of its available parachain slots. A parachain slot is a scarce resource on Polkadot and only a limited number is available. Now, as parachains ramp up, there may be only a few slots that are unlocked every few months. The goal is to eventually have 100 parachain slots available on both Kusama, and they'll be split between parachains and the parathread pool. If a parachain wants to have a guaranteed block inclusion at every relay chain block, it must acquire a parachain slot. The parachain slots will be sold according to an under permission candle auction, and again, this is slightly modified to be secure on the blockchain. So exactly how is this different from any other ICO or even Polkadot auctions? Well, parachain auctions on Kusama adopt a rare historical method, and again, we covered that method in detail of how they used to do it in the ancient days, but essentially using this Kusama and their tokens to bid on a project, the winner of the auction is the project who receives the greatest funding total. This is kind of like a bidding process on eBay, for example. However, this method also comes with flaws, most notably the issues of front running, which encourages characteristics of either A, insider knowledge, or B, last minute bidding wars, skewing the data set since every bidder knows when the time will run out. With the supplementation of blockchain technology, the case for candle auctions, again, as addressed by research in the Web3 Foundation this year, is twofold. Quote, front running and the presence of smart contracts among bidders, close quote. So now that we know how it works and we know what this process started back in June of 2021, you may be asking yourself if it's too late. And the answer is no. In fact, I personally prefer to use the Fearless wallet to participate in crowd loans, as it's sanctioned Web3 Foundation wallet, and is by far the most user-friendly wallet I've ever used for crowd loans on Kusama, and it also works with Polkadot crowd loans as well. As of shooting this video, there are 8 active crowd loans that you can participate in via the Fearless wallet app on iOS. I'm currently bidding on Robonomics XRT myself. If you want to see why this is one that I'm hedging my bets on, you can go ahead and click right here in the top right corner to watch my deep dive into Robonomics. See you guys in that video right now. Crypto Renegade out.